La la la. Alright. We here. We here. We here. So, still got 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Come to the light like a moth. Hey, bro, nigga, son. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Say something. I told you today we're gonna read some books. We're gonna discuss propaganda. Got a couple books here. And you know this. You know? But how? But how high? But how high? Yeah, I'm gonna figure this shit out. We can get this shit together. But I want to talk about propaganda. Okay, coming in. Here we go. Propaganda is a very complex topic, and I guess as they refer to it as inside baseball, right? Inside baseball means you need to know how to. So anyway, so you have different languages, and in different types of languages, you have different types of emotions, and let's say high priest. And then when these high priests are the propagandists. So in every country, they have a ministry of propaganda. Baby, you go ahead and blow your nose. Go ahead. I'm gonna blow mine. Go ahead. I'm gonna blow mine. Can I use that? I gotta blow my nose too. Hold on. Hold on. Rotate device. Hold on. My shit is all acting crazy. Come on. What the fuck? Why is it saying rotate device? Come on, Obama. Come to the light over. What the fuck?
Does it have no charge?
Am I? Okay, here we go. Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. So, let's get this thing cracking. Where my fucking glasses at and shit? Here we go, nigga. Put these motherfucking, Lebowski's on. Motherfucking Lebowski's. Hey, Lebowski, that was the dude, right? And the dude means doo-doo. It don't mean doo-doo, but what it means is, like, for instance, the Masons are always trying to square everything. So Winnie the Pooh, he's like in Taoism, he's the unformed, like, perfect fool. So, like, the dude is the Masons are always trying to. I don't know. I used to be big into Taoism and to all that kind of philosophy stuff. But anyway, let's get on into this. I cannot do this with this shit. This is crazy. So, the book you want to get is Jacques Ellul on propaganda, the formation of men's mind. The dude is the poo. Yeah. Yeah, if we could get deep into that one day, I had to be in one of those moods of where I could explain Taoism and the dude. If you go back and you look at The Big Lebowski, he's kind of like a truther who just got caught up into some shit. He said it makes sense. Yeah, well, in the Bible, they talk about the stone that the builder refused. And anyway, it gets into Taoism. I haven't done. If you're into Taoism, if you want to check that out, which there are pitfalls into it, I would suggest you check Alan Watts with an S. And, you know what I mean? But, like I said, it's a discussion. So, yeah, the dude is the way. It got me off. I'm sorry. Yeah, but I think we talked about that Hot Chicks. So I know we didn't talked about it. They made videos about it and shit. It talks about 9/11 with Big Lebowski and the dude, George Bush, New World Order. Yeah. So anyway, the formation of man's mind. So this is how you get into a geopolitical, historical outlook of propaganda. But now the book we're going to be focusing on is Edward Bernays. Now he begins this chapter 1 by talking about the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democracy society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. So, this is Edward Bernays talking about the deep state. Yada yada. This is before they were the deep state. This is when they were like the SOS, like World War One. They were true propagandists with Goebbels and Hitler and his Reich and the propagandees. You know what I'm saying? So these people are all colleagues and shit. You know what I mean? It takes one to know one, right? Real recognize real. Shit, a hoe know another hoe when she see one. Where my drink go? Hey, where my drink go, bro? I don't have to hold on. Damn. Where my drink go? Here it is. Okay, here we go. Alright, so. Alright, back to this. Now, to understand certain nuances, not nuances, but things of propaganda but let's go into this book, into Edward Bernays, okay? And now Edward Bernays they call him the Godfather. Nah, fuck all that bullshit. But anyway, he was into corporation public relationship. So, thank you, have a nice day, put on some white and say you're a doctor. So, it was really the dumbing down of America was Edward Bernays. Now, Edward Bernays' uncles was Freud, right? Freud, everything's a libido. Now, this is a culture industry. Now, they're fomenting the belief system into people's minds in how we live life. Okay, we are governed in our minds, molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. This is logical result of the way in which our democratic society is organized. Vast number of human beings must cooperate in this manner if they are to live together as smoothly as function as possible. Okay, so that's propaganda, right? Propaganda right there. But so he admits that he's a part of this invisible government, aka called the deep state, which controls the masses through the ministry of propaganda, like Orwell talked about, or whatever. Okay. Our invisible governments are in many cases unaware of the identity of their fellow members in this inner cabinet. Our invisible governors are in many cases unaware of the identity of the fellow. Okay. They govern us by their qualities of natural leadership, their ability to supply needed ideas, and by their key positions in the social structure. Whatever attitude one chooses towards this condition, it remains a fact that in almost every act of our daily lives, whether in the sphere of politics or business, in our social conduct, or in our ethical thinking, we are dominated by the relatively small number of persons, a thriftling fraction of our hundreds of 20 millions, who understand the mental processes of social patterns of the masses. In this, they who pull the wires which control the public mind, who harness old social forces and contrive new ways to bind and guide the world. Alright, so that's the deep state. So the deep state is, he's saying that he's a part of the intelligentsia. Okay, so they're a part of like a think tank and whatnot. I mean, this is just the beginning, and I'm not gonna read this damn book because I don't know where I'm going, where I'm ending with this shit. Because like I said, it says something about I just wanted to look at the table of contents. It says order out of chaos, and Watt, he begins to he reads that a lot, I guess, because we are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes are formed, our ideas are suggested largely by men we have never heard of. Is that true? Is that true? I mean, this book begins to talk all about how people come to their conclusions. And this is another thing. This is why we know it's a spiritual battle and there's nothing new underneath the sun. I mean, the devil's supposed to tempt you. But if you're right with God, I mean, does this matter? I mean, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty good. So, any questions out there? I thought I was going to read this book, but I'm not. That's about as far as I'm going to go with. We can read the contents if somebody wants to ask some questions. Like I said, this book right here is if you want to become a propagandist. You know what I mean? You know, it depends on what do you think that means, you know? This just means a call to arms through pejorative propaganda. He wrote this before the faggots took over, right? Nah, I don't know. The faggots have always taken over. Ewell is a French philosopher. I guess he had access to the archives and whatnot. But like I said, I mean, propaganda is like the gospel if you understand behind the power of words. I mean, because we're all subjected to it. I mean, and propaganda is not to be taken. A propaganda is to be taken as the good news, as the truth. But it's been usurped. I mean, like I said, there's all different types of propaganda. There's a Russian type of propaganda. There's American propaganda. You know, there's the languages and all these things, and every government has, I guess, has a ministry of propaganda. If they would like to hire me, they come on. I could bring this all about. But yeah. So let's talk about this shit. Meow. Babe, roll something. What you guys want to do? You guys want to read some more propaganda? Only through the active energy of the intelligent few can the public at large become aware of and act upon new ideas. You know, so the social engineers and the propagandists are out there. So this would be your agent provocateurs. So your agent provocateurs are your propagandists, and you know they push certain ideology, whether they be fake, contrived, real, or not, whatever. But, it goes back into study of popular mind and whatnot in group psychology. I mean, the Masons, for the most part, the Illuminati, they're just into color revolutions. Revolution, sex revolution, revolution. Out with the old, into some new shit. You know what I mean? So they could bring in their whatever. And so by these techniques and scientists, which people are not. There's techniques in propaganda to where, in the Russian flag, they have a hammer, and we could get into the symbology behind the sickle and the cell. You know what I mean? That gets into Egypt. You know what I mean? Democracy. Anyway, so propaganda has to hit by just keep hitting you. So a lot of times people are glutton for punishment. A lot of times, like it was funny with this whole Trump thing. So you had your Trump supporters. They're going to get burnt out by going, yeah, Trump, 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 Trump. But even though, you know what I mean, but your behavior is disgusting. I mean, you could still be righteous, but your behavior doesn't have to be disgusting. And anyway, people are controlled, you know what I mean, through, I guess, what, people want to be in a herd, right? What, I guess I call himself a truther, right? I don't know. Any questions? Like I said, propaganda is a technique. And like all techniques, it's a preduncle. Means like before wireless, that you had wire, but you had to get there. It's just a stepping tool. But any questions? No questions. No questions. I can answer any. I want to talk about nothing I don't know. Tell you about the news or something. Y'all want to know about women's activity in propaganda? Let's talk about this shit. 129. Yeah, in propaganda, I asked you a question. He wrote this before the faggots took over. No. I mean, the faggots have always have taken over. I mean, we're in this predicament because we're not rich, right? So we're poor. No, the other question. He wrote this before the faggots took over, right? That's the only question I got is before the faggots took over. And no, he did not write this before the faggots took over. These people are the formation of the faggots. If you know, he's telling you the mechanics of how they control going. You know, I mean, ask me the question again, because maybe maybe this shit got lost. But I want to talk about now. I want to do a thing. I'm gonna try to look at the movie American Beauty, and we're gonna start dissecting how the high priest propagandize women's activities. So I'm gonna go ahead and start 129. What was the question? 129. Let's go to 129. But remember, there's nothing new underneath the sun. Okay, women in contemporary America have achieved a legal equality with men. This does not mean that their activities are identical with those of men. Women, I just asked you again the same question. I asked you a question. No, the other question. I asked you again the same question. On my phone, that's all I'm getting. I gotta blow my nose. Let me blow my nose, boo boo, before I start reading that shit. Alright. Alright. Just ask me the question again. Okay, this is not... Okay, women in the mass still have special interests and activities in addition to their economic pursuits and vocational interests. Women's most obvious influence is exerted when they are organized and armed with the weapons of propaganda. So organized and armed that they made their influence felt on city councils, state legislations, and national Congress, upon executives, upon political campaigns, and upon public opinion, generally both local and national. So Edward Bernays. In political, American women today occupy much more important positions from the standpoint of their influence, and their organized groups then form their standpoint of their leadership. They have required an actual political position and an actual office holding. The professional woman politician has had up to the present not much influence, nor do women generally regard her as being the most important element in the question. Ma Ferguson, after all, was simply a woman in the home, a cat's paw for a despised husband. Neil Haas, see, these are people I do not know. This is the intelligentsia talking to each other. So, unless you're real red, you know what I mean? Like, unless you're like Days of Noah or fucking Jay Dyer or Alan Watts, you're not gonna know all these players. These players, you know, for the most part, are So like I said, I don't know everybody, and I don't feel sorry about it. So listen, what I'm gonna do next time is I'm not gonna just pick this up. This is new. I'm not just going to pick this up. I will read something and we will talk about it. But what I want to begin to dove into is propaganda and how the deep state uses it. And let's not get that confused on the power of propaganda, that propaganda will set you free. Because remember, propaganda is supposed to be the truth. And so the truth is supposed to set you free. So propaganda, blah, blah, blah. So any questions? I don't want to 30 minutes in. If I think of something else, it's getting late. But I appreciate everybody listening to me and everything. If I could get to your question, hot retarded chicks. Hot retarded chick. Talk to me. I want to know the question. For real, for real. But your phone is messed up. Yeah, it's an Obama phone. What's messed up about it? I know you can hear me. I probably ain't got my face in there right. Yeah, man. Anywho, so, shit. We're gonna talk some more. Like I said, I asked you the same question 3 times and you missed it. What you want me to do? What do you want me to do, man? I don't know. Shit. But yeah. I mean, once you realize it's bullshit, I asked you the same question 3 times and you missed it. Once you realize, well, like, everybody starts doing their independent research and you start understanding that, I would really suggest Obama don't want you to see the question. Well, Obama schmama, the KGB. Obama ain't nothing but the KGB. For real. Yeah, so yeah, they're into censorship, right? That's Antifa. I don't know how you're an anarchist, but you're pro uh, censorship. What the fuck? Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. But I guess that's how the Orwellian state is run. You know, like they tell us the land of the free, but are we really free? That shit. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, I guess we'll talk about some health shit soon. Obama don't want you to see this. Yeah. Alright, well, like I said, I'm on my phone. My computer's broke. I'm not making no videos. I don't really be looking at no shit anyway. But what y'all want to talk about? Democracy is administered by the intelligent minority who know how to regiment and guide the mass. That's what D stands for. Democracy stands for administrated by the intelligent minority who know how to regiment the mass. So it's a pyramid scheme. Everything's from the top down, man. And we're trying to build it from the bottom to the top. Now let's get this shit popping. Alright, my people. I don't want to keep y'all holding no longer. Try to have some more to say. Transmission. Oh, another truther out there doing real good. I'm gonna start, we'll start talking about some herbs and some other truthers and whatnot. Peace. Peace, peace, peace. No questions, so peace.